Good evening. I'm greatly humbled to be here this evening, accepting this Freedom Award from the National Civil Rights Museum. On behalf of hundreds of thousands of poor and low-income leaders, clergy, activists, advocates, organizers who have come together in nearly every state across this country, people of all races, all ages, all creeds, from dozens of national faith traditions, hundreds of different partner organizations, to build, to call for a Poor People's Campaign, a national call for moral revival. This award is a recognition of the true heroes and heroines of our nation, the 140 million people, more than 43% of the US population, who are poor, or one storm, one healthcare crisis, one job loss, one debt payment away from economic ruin. And this was before COVID even hit. Who for too long have been called moral failures, blamed for poverty and inequality, when it has been our society that has failed the people. On my heart tonight are some of the martyrs of our movement. Pamela Sue Rush, from Lowndes County, Alabama, a Black mother and sister with raw sewage in her yard and mold in her trailer. Dottie Stevens, a white welfare mom from Boston, Massachusetts. Dred McCall, a homeless veteran from Salinas, California, and more of the 250,000 Americans who die from poverty and inequality every year in this, the richest country in human history. The Poor People's Campaign, a national call for moral revival, is committed to shifting the narrative on poverty and low wealth, building compelling power to right the wrongs, to establish and promote justice, to fully address the interlocking injustices of systemic racism, systemic poverty, ecological devastation, the denial of healthcare, war and the war economy, militarism, and this distorted narrative of religious nationalism. And from here in Memphis, where more than 53 years ago, the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was shot while he waged what would become the last campaign of his life, alongside of welfare rights moms and Appalachian folk and indigenous nations and the Jewish Federation and so many more. He talked about the dispossessed of this nation. The poor, both white and Negro, live in a cruelly unjust society. They must organize against the injustice, not against the lives of the persons who are their fellow citizens, but against the structures through which society is refusing to take means which have been called for and which are at hand to lift the load of poverty. There are millions of poor people in this country who have very little or even nothing to lose. If they can be helped to take action together, they will do so with a freedom and a power that will be a new and unsettling force in our complacent national life. All these years later, indeed, a new and unsettling force is rising up to save the soul of this democracy and nation. From the Bronx to the border, from Appalachia to Aberdeen, from the deep south to the California coast, it has become clear that people are coming together demanding justice. And so this is why we must continue to organize and unite people around the vision that when you lift from the bottom, everybody rises. Poverty is not divine necessity. It is a human creation. Indeed, ending poverty is possible We can change it, and we need you all, each and every one of you, to join us. Thank you so much.